Hi everyone, Professor Oz here. This is a video to introduce the course to you, to make you a little bit more familiar with what we are going to cover this semester, the format, assignments, all that stuff. Much of it is in the syllabus. I mean, actually everything is in the syllabus, but I wanted to spend some time emphasizing, highlighting certain things more than others. And I already introduced myself in the YouTube video that I posted on Blackboard, so please make sure you check that out. And then after that, if you haven't already done so, and this is to introduce not myself, but the course. So let's get started. Okay. All right. So first of all, Finance 363. This is what it's about, right? What you see on the screen. So first of all, I would like to communicate to you, and underscore to you that finance really matters. And the way I like to think about it is sort of the engine of the global economy. So if the engine is not working well, the global economy is not going to work very well. Or if the engine is really powerful, then the global economy is going to be in much better shape. And that affects the livelihood of people, right? So that's why it matters a lot. And one way we can tell that this is true is when the engine is struggling, like it did in 2008, 2009, the crisis, financial crisis that started as a subprime housing mortgage problem and that really caused issues with banks, ended up resulting in the worst recession since the Great Depression. So we can see when the financial system is struggling, global economy tends to struggle, people lose their jobs and wealth, so it matters, right? So I think what we are going to be talking about this semester matters a lot. So that's sort of the big picture view, but it also matters a lot for your purposes individually, because in modern economies now, especially in a country like the US, you are responsible from your own financial well-being, retirement, student debt, mortgage, all that stuff, credit cards, right? So if you are not financially literate, and if you don't understand what's happening out there, it is going to be very easy to lose your wealth or not to maximize, not to optimize your financial well-being. So hopefully this course will be useful from that perspective as well. Some of the things that we are going to cover, especially at the beginning, we are going to be talking about, so who are the players in this? It's a really complex financial system, so we're going to try to distill it into its major players, the who, why, and how of financial markets and the financial system, right? And then we're going to talk about, well, why should we care? Why does finance exist? What would a society without finance look like, right? So the role of finance for the society, sort of the good and the bad. And then after that, we are going to focus on the study of finance. And the study of finance, the way we study finance is going to be primarily, not entirely, but primarily about crunching numbers to do valuation. Valuation is a big one. So we're going to talk a lot about valuing financial assets in this class, so bonds and stocks, as well as corporate investments, right? And we will also analyze performance, like the performance of a mutual fund investments, performance of your individual investments, right? Is that good? Is that bad? Can we say anything about that? And this will involve quite a bit of math and statistics, but it's not at an extremely high level at all. So we're going to do a lot of it, but it's not going to be too deep, all right? And one reason I really like finance and I really like teaching finance is because finance is very fast-paced. So this is not going to be one of those courses, like maybe some of the courses that you have taken in the past, where you can, like the professor can basically teach the same material year after year with no modification. You cannot do that with finance. You can do that with many business classes, but I think especially in finance, you just cannot get away with that. Because just something is happening all the time. Things are changing. Interest rates are changing. Stock prices, GDP, economy. So there's a lot of fast-paced, activity and related to the topics that we are discussing. And I love this about finance. And you will see, I'm going to be talking a lot about current events. And this is one of the main reasons why I decided to write the textbook that I assign you. So one of the main reasons, and the reason that why it's called a living introduction to finance, is because I wanted to have a textbook. I wanted to be able to assign a textbook that's almost real time, that it reflects. You can't really have a textbook with numbers from 2010, 2015, 2016. That's outdated, right? So with a print book, it's hard to avoid. But with a digital book, you can do that. And that's why I like to do is update it on a very regular basis. So the textbook you have is going to have numbers from the summer of 2020. Right? And even throughout the semester, I'll be actually updating it. What you're seeing is not the final version. As we go forward, as things happen, I will probably change those numbers. So you should keep that in mind. The other reason I decided to co-author the textbook that I assign you is also I just don't like the publishing system that's happening out there right now, the ridiculous prices. So the textbook is priced at only $4. I think that's just the way it should be. Anyway, let's move on. All right. So I want to talk a little bit about what are the big questions, right? We are going to address and answer this semester, just to give you an idea about what's ahead of us. Why are we doing all this stuff? So here there are lots of why, what, and how questions, as you can see. We're gonna start probably in a couple of weeks. We're gonna start talking about time value of money, right? I'm sure a lot of you, if not most of you, already have covered this. You all know this thing about $1 today, $1 tomorrow, all that stuff. But we're going to go a little bit deeper than that. And so why does money have time value? And it turns out this is really important for us in finance, because finance, the word, if you look at sort of the root, fin, so that comes from Latin meaning end. And the reason that's really the idea of time and the end is at the root of finance, right? Finance is all about value of cash flows, value of money being expected to be realized over time. So time is an essential part of it. And this time value of money it complicates things, right? So we have to handle different dollar amounts at different points in time in the future, in different ways. Those are apples to oranges. So we need to be able to compare them. We need to be able to sort of translate them into a common language, right? So to an apples to apples comparison. So we need to be very careful in handling in time value of money. We're going to talk about the magic of compounding. Magic, well, we're going to see the math behind it. It's going to explain everything, but it looks pretty magical. We're going to talk about where do stock prices come from. I know I looked at sort of the welcome page discussion that I posted on Top Hat, which wasn't graded, but a lot of you already answered that, and a lot of you seem particularly interested in stocks. It's going to take a while to get to stocks for us. But when we get there, we're going to spend some time talking about what stocks are and valuing stocks. So why is Tesla? I checked a couple hours ago. It was $2,050 per share. Where is that number coming from, right? Is it just a made-up number? What's behind it? Where does it come from? And then we're going to talk about, I'm sure, since the time I checked, before the markets closed, price probably moved. Like a stock like Tesla, its price goes up and down a lot. So why? Why are they so volatile, right? Where is that coming from? We're going to talk about how companies raise money. That's one of the main sort of purposes of finance is to make it possible for companies with productive users to be able to raise money from savers, so that flow of funds from savers in the economy to users in the economy which have productive uses for that capital. So we're going to talk how does it happen? IPOs, SEOs, different ways of raising money. Well, interest rate changes. Right now, interest rates are historically low. So why? What are the implications of that? A lot of investors are interested in earning excess returns, extra returns, right? It's normal. But what does it take, right? And this comes to the idea of no pain, no gain. And here in the finance context, pain is risk, right? Volatility that we were talking about, the possibility of a permanent loss of capital, and gain is sort of the upside return. So we're going to talk about these ideas. Miracle of diversification, so portfolio composition. Should you invest in like a stock like Apple alone because you really like the company? We're going to see that that's not a great idea for a couple different reasons. You want to put others in that same basket and create a portfolio. Why? What is the math behind that idea of diversification? And why is it sort of like a miracle, right? We're going to talk about market efficiency. So you could think of it as no free lunch. So no easy gains, right? So you have to have pain, no gains related to that idea. So if in the market there's no free lunch, we call that market an efficient market. So we're going to talk about that. And we're going to finish off the semester with talking a little bit about derivatives. So beyond bonds and stocks, we're going to talk a little bit about options, futures, forwards, just a basic introduction. All right, so these are the big questions. All right, course format, as you now already know, is 100% asynchronous, no live meetings, right? So lectures will be on Top Hat. Every Monday morning, you should expect weekly sort of lectures. So get in the habit of just expecting that, knowing that, and putting that in your schedule of things to do. And every lecture will come with sort of some text and multiple pre-recorded videos. But along with these, there will be a pre-lecture quiz from assigned readings and a post-lecture quiz from after you've done all the readings and gone through the lecture. Have you understood the material? So again, this should be, all of these will come every Monday. So this course format will give you a lot of flexibility, right? So you have these sort of weekly packages, and you can do it first thing on Monday, or you can wait a little bit. So one of the challenges of this format is there isn't, by itself, there isn't this sense of community, and that's a big part of the college experience and learning in a college environment, is communication and interaction. So it is going to be a little bit limited unless we do something about it. And what we will try to do something about it is to take advantage of virtual office hours. So I encourage you, once we have determined the schedule, and there's a poll about that now on Piazza, I'm going to talk about that a little bit later. So once we set the office hours schedule, I'm hoping to see a lot of you there, to answer your questions, to work on problems, things like that. So hopefully we'll get to meet. Now, what will be our material and platforms? So we have a little bit of what is known as too-many logins problem. So I want to make this as interactive as possible. So this is something we're going to have to deal with. So bear with me on this. So we have our Blackboard for announcements, course documents, and online exams. We have our Top Hat where the textbook is. All lectures will come on Monday, and all assignments, including this pre-lecture, post-lecture, and occasional bigger homeworks will be all on Top Hat. Piazza for all course communication and discussion, and hopefully it's going to be an active place. There are 925 of you, so I'm hoping to see a very active Piazza environment in discussion and communication. And for office hours, we'll probably end up using Zoom, almost certainly. I'm trying to stay away from Blackboard, Collaborate, Ultra, so I think Zoom is going to work better, but we'll see. In addition to that, you should have a calculator. That's going to be important for some of the homeworks. There you can probably use Excel, and you can use online calculators, but when it comes to online exams, where you're going to have the lockdown, respondents lockdown, you're not going to be able to do anything else on your computer. So you better have a calculator. And don't want to you don't want the online exam to be the first time you're actually practicing with the calculator. So please get a calculator, and one with some functionality. It doesn't necessarily have to be a financial calculator, but it needs to be something that can easily take power terms, natural logarithm, and not much more than that. And something you're familiar with. Okay, and get used to get in the habit of using them and be comfortable with it. Some homeworks will require Excel or some sort of spreadsheet software, so you can use Google Sheets, for example, and that's fine. And please make sure for this to go very smoothly, make sure your operating system and web browser have the latest updates and you're able to access all these platforms. Grading and evaluation. Assignments are 40%. So I didn't want assignments to have a lower weight than this because I don't want the online exams to be the 3 times you check in the course and then try to get a good grade. I don't think that's going to serve you very well. So these assignments, 25% homeworks, there are going to be 7 or 8 homeworks during the semester, long homeworks, mostly almost entirely numerical. And then there's going to be 15% of your grade is this really weekly, regular pre-lecture and post-lecture quizzes to ensure that you just come in, you check in, you make a habit of being on top of your work every week throughout the semester. And then we have our 3 online exams. Assignments, all assignments are on Top Hat. All exams are on Blackboard. Online exams are on Blackboard. Now, especially for the purpose of the 3 online exams, it's very important to have a hardwired broadband internet connection as opposed to, say, Wi-Fi. So if you have issues with that, one thing you can do is to go to a library, university library or local library, where they have a broadband connection. That would be useful. You also need webcam as required for online exams. So it's important to find one or have one before the first exam is approaching. And the library, university library, has loaner laptops. So if you need a laptop with a webcam, jump on that opportunity as soon as you can. And there's also so there's some talk of loaner internet hotspots. I don't know exactly the details of that, but if you have internet connectivity issues, this is something you need to be on the lookout for that one. And when I learn more, I'll let you know if this is a need for you. All right. Important dates. These are all on the syllabus. So let me not waste your time here. But we have these online exam windows. Then you're going to be able to start the exams within those windows, and then you will have something like 75 minutes, maybe a little bit longer for the midterms, and then you are going to have about 2.5 hours for the final exam within that long window. By the way, I forgot to mention in terms of the 3 exams, so we have 2 midterms. Whichever one you get a higher grade will count 20%, and whichever one you get a lower grade will count for 15%. Drop ad deadlines are important. 2 virtual business expo, internship, job placement, all that stuff, recruiting. So please make sure you take advantage of that. And some of you may be interested in the Finance Scholars Program if you're a finance major. You may have heard good things about them. I'll talk to you. I'll bring that up if you're not familiar. Also, you can Google Finance Scholars. It's a very selective, very sort of nice program, small cohort of highly ambitious and enthusiastic students, finance majors, working together, taking a bunch of classes and workshops together. And they have an excellent track record of placing people in really high-level finance jobs in Wall Street, including the best of the best investment banks, for example. But it's not just for investment banks. So I will mention the application deadline is late fall. I'll bring that up again later. All right, communication is very important. Again, as I said, I don't want this to be something like, okay, everything is delivered online, you just do your work, take exams, and you're done. Communication is an important part of this. So Piazza is what I chose. I haven't used Piazza before, so this is a bit of an experiment for me as well. So hopefully it will work out well. I used to use Blackboard discussion boards in the past. It's just not great in my experience. Maybe you agree with me. I think Piazza is much more user-friendly. It just requires an extra login. Right? So it's a free social learning platform. So please don't email me unless you absolutely have to. And the reason I'm saying that is because there are about 925 of you, and many of you will have the same questions, right? So by posting it on Piazza, it's going to benefit everybody, right? If I'm getting like 100 emails, 200 emails all at once, I'm not going to be able to respond to them in a timely manner. But if you post it in Piazza, I answer it there, or even a classmate answers it there, and other people come and they see it's already answered, it's going to be much, much, much more efficient. So please use that for all course communication and discussion purposes. And take advantage of it, right? And you can use your own name, which is the preferred method. So I can see, who's asking what and all that. But you can, if you don't want to, you can also post anonymously. And you can post it to the entire class, which is great. Or if it's a private matter, you can post it just for me. There is a choice on Piazza. Do you want the entire class or just the instructor? And then I will be the only one down there to see it. All right, and you should have already received the welcome email with instructions. So if you have not, if you can't find it, look at your junk inbox or a folder, and look at it. It should come to your email.sc.edu address. So please check that. So there's an office hours poll up on Piazza. Please go there and let me know what office hours what schedule would be best for you, and then I'll look at everybody's responses and I'll decide on the schedule and I'll post it. So office hours will be drop-in Zoom office hours at regular times, days and times, so I will announce that. And we are going to use Zoom, and Zoom bombing, I really want to avoid that. I don't want that to be an issue for us. So please make sure you have a Zoom login and use that to log in to come to the waiting room where I will let people in during office hours. So that's important, right? And here's my email. There's my email address. In case of emergency, if you cannot or do not want to use Piazza and you have a very personal matter and it's like you really need my attention right away for some reason, then you can email me. We have various academic support options. So Finance 363 is part of SSC's Student Success Center's supplemental instruction program. So we will have an SI leader, and the SI leader will hold regular virtual review sessions, and will be attending this course. We'll have access to the textbook, and I will let you know more about your SI leader and the schedule, and he will be able to also make announcements on Blackboard. So if something is not really clear to you about the lecture, about certain topics, and if you feel like you need more help and more hands-on activity, problem solving, stuff like that, that SI review sessions will be great. Okay, so make sure you take advantage of that. You can also do one-on-one peer tutoring. You can get help one-on-one from SSC. They will hold virtual sessions. Just go to their website. And whenever you have a question about course, you can just post it on Piazza. And I will, within the next 12 to 24 hours, I will jump in and probably respond to you. But I'm hoping that with so many of us here, hopefully within minutes, somebody will come in and answer, and I will have a chance to then come in and actually endorse earlier questions. So I would love to see students answer each other, and then what I deem as the best answer will be endorsed by me. And also take advantage of virtual office hours for academic support whenever you need something, all right? Beyond that, for accommodation, if you need accommodations for disabilities, register with SDRC as soon as possible, especially for exams, do it well in advance. So if you need like extra time and all that. If you have a medical or family emergency, we are going through challenging times, of course, very understandable. There will be issues, problems. Whenever you have something like that, in that unfortunate situation, contact the undergraduate student ombuds services. So they have this really nice website with a link for a student report form, very straightforward. It will require like what is your reason for asking for accommodations, and documentation and all that stuff. So you can do that on the website and they'll let me know, okay? And if you have any food or housing insecurity type of situation, please contact the Division of Student Affairs and Academic Support, and they will help you out, and let me know as well. All right. Strategies for success. So this course, really the nice thing about this format is flexibility, but it has a downside as well. You really need to be self-motivated and very well organized to be successful in a course like this. To not just to be successful, but to get the best, the most out of it, right? And one way of getting the most out of this course is going to be building good habits for yourself. So create a schedule for yourself. You know, lectures will drop on Monday mornings, right? So put it in your calendar as if really there's as if you were going to go to class a couple times a week, and try to attend the class without any distractions at that time, right? So turn off your phone, turn off your email, close your email program, get off social media for like an hour and a half, a couple times a week, um, um, depending on your needs for lectures and then more for homework assignments and stuff like that. So try to stay focused as much as possible and reward yourself. So that's sort of the carrots approach of building good habits, right? Is when you have a good week, you're on top of your readings, you're on top of you did great on these quizzes that are automatically very quickly graded, right? And you've done well, reward yourself, both for short-term and long-term achievements, and that's important for motivation and building good habits. So definitely stay on top of due dates. It's easy to lose track when you are not forced to physically in person come to class. It's sort of easy to forget the due dates and stuff like that. So that's the biggest danger. So please stay on top of all these due dates. Pre-lecture quizzes, post-lecture quizzes, homeworks. Don't leave these points on the table. Don't leave everything all really hanging, sort of everything at stake at the online exams. So check in regularly. Again, part of this building good habits and staying on top of things. And don't be shy. Ask for help. Piazza, office hours, SI sessions, SSC tutoring. All right. Before we talk about what's next, so there's this one more slide, but I want to show you very quickly what our Top Hat and Piazza sort of platforms look like. All right, so that's more or less what your Top Hat course will look like. This is my view. Yours is going to be a little bit different. Unfortunately, there isn't sort of a student preview version, so I'm not able to show you exactly your view. But there's the Welcome to Finance 363 page here, just to give you an idea about what this platform looks like. If you haven't already done so, there are a couple, like there's one question, which finance topic, 360 topic are you the most excited about? And a sample sort of discussion, what these discussions will look like, where I'm asking you, what's your favorite song of all time? These are not graded. Even though it says homework, that's one thing important about Top Hat. As I mentioned in my orientation, if you haven't watched the Top Hat orientation, make sure you watch that. But homework doesn't mean necessarily that this is graded, all right? And here we have our entire textbook set to review, so you can review the entire thing. And here, that's not available to you just yet, is a lectures folder. And under lectures folder, what you will eventually see are these weekly folders, week one. And then in each folder, you're going to see a list of the required readings. I posted this on Blackboard as well. So you'll see it on both Blackboard and on Top Hat. What are the readings for that week? After you've done the readings, a pre-lecture quiz on a separate page. So there will be a bunch of questions here. multiple choice or fill in blanks or sometimes numerical. And then after completing the pre-lecture quiz, which will be due Thursday nights, 11:59 p.m. every week, here is the lecture, and there will be some text here, images, and some short lecture videos. So you can go over that lecture. And then once you're finished with the lecture, you can do the post-lecture quiz, which is several questions here. And then these will be due Saturday nights, 11:59 p.m. So you can do this, you can do all of this and be done with it on Monday already, or you can wait pre-lecture quiz due date Thursday night, post-lecture quiz due date Saturday night. All right, and eventually there will also be homeworks here, 7 or 8 of them, due always Sunday nights at 11:59 p.m. And then there will also be practice tests as the exams are approaching, practice tests for different parts, different chapters from the book for you to practice and get familiar with the formatting for the online exam. Okay, so that's what Top Hat will look like. Piazza looks like this. Again, this is my view of it, but already a couple of you already start to use it, which I really appreciate. A student asked for the course code in Top Hat, and somebody answered it, and I endorsed that answer. So this was fantastic. So please continue doing that. And there's here a virtual office hours survey. What dates and times would you prefer the office hours to be? And you can have you can pick more than one. So keep that coming. So I will be able to see these results. All right. And then there are these folders here at the top of Piazza. Syllabus, lectures, homework, one, exams, practices, current events, other polls. So when you have a question, you can pick one of these topics, and then they will be here. One thing that's important is here on the, you can't really see it easily. Let me see if I can. All right, here on the top right, you want to click on this gear icon and change your email settings. Otherwise, you're going to be bombarded by too many emails. So it will be important for you to keep the email coming at a manageable pace. All right. Last words. What's next? Let's go back to PowerPoint. What's next? If you haven't already done so, you may be hearing my 4-year-old trying to open the door. That's going to happen. Social distancing, working from home, family, 3 kids at home. If you watch my introduction on YouTube, so occasionally stuff like this will happen. So watch my introduction on YouTube, very short, 1 minute if you haven't already done so. The link is on Blackboard. Register for Top Hat and Piazza and get access. Do a tech check, make sure your browser is up to date. Chrome or Firefox would be the best, especially for online exams. This is particularly important. Check your Blackboard, make sure you are receiving the emails is very important from Blackboard. Top Hat is working, Piazza is working, and Zoom is working. You have Zoom installed, you have a login, very important. Complete the office hours survey on Piazza. If you haven't done so, one thing I forgot to add here, so let me add it right away. Watch the Top Hat orientation video, which I posted on Blackboard, the link, right? And the weekly module will be, the lecture will be coming on Top Hat on Monday morning, all right? And then we're gonna get started. All right, so that's it. So if you have any questions, please post them on Piazza. I'm looking forward to a great semester with you, and looking forward to seeing you at virtual office hours. All right, take care. Be safe, be well, and I'll see you later.